Okay, I got the shock absorber oil changed for 2023. I took the shock off, took off the air hose, and drained it out. Just had to take out, get some light in here, 2 bolts. That one, that's for the bottom part of the shock, and the top one, get some more light in there. I don't know if you can see it. Let me turn this light on. It's the top of the shock is in there. When you put your shock back in, just remember that the air hose for the shock faces the rear. Okay? Now, it makes it easier. Here's the air hose. If you have one of these are used for attaching to an inner tube. Put it through the hole on the rim. Then you can let the tube go down inside there and fight with the second half of the tire when you're getting it on the rim. And then when you got the whole tire on, then you can find the tube again with one of these. Well, I stuck this down there and screwed it onto the air Schrader valve, and I was able to pull the hose up without wrestling with it too much. You really don't need that, but it makes it easier. Then there's that vent hose or whatever it is, shaped like a cane, that comes up on the side of the battery there and plugs into this little receiver right here. Guess it's some type of a breather. But remember to route those on the inside of the links for the shock, not on the outside. The same with whenever you take your wheel off. I found out the hard way. When you take your brake caliper off, to take off this mounting bracket to take the wheel out, okay, when you put everything back in, this hose goes on the outside of the swinging arm, not on the inside. I found that out the hard way. I had to take it back apart to get the caliper on the hose on the outside of the swing arm. And I took my antennas off my bike and the mounting brackets. I got them all labeled up for whenever I sell the bike, if I sell it to the next owner. I like the clean look without those brackets. They bolted on here and here on both sides. And I like that better. And the next thing I'm going to remove is this, because I just don't listen to the radio or the CB or the intercom or anything. That makes all the music I want to hear. So that's where I'm at today. What is this? I think it's the 24th of February 2023. Just getting it ready for riding season. We've hit 75 degrees today here in Pittsburgh. Well, I'm actually north of Pittsburgh. I'm not in Pittsburgh, but it was t-shirt weather. I've heard a lot of bikes today. So my next adventure is going to be changing the fork oil. Now, in the owner's manual, it says it is not necessary to change the fork oil. Okay. Here's where I disagree with that. When you put air, this has air suspension, as all Venture owners know, and when you put air in, that air has condensation in it. And that air, if anybody has ever drained their compressor tank, they know that a lot of water gets condensed out of the air. Well, that water is also getting in your fork tubes. And after time, that's going to accumulate in there. And I don't know if it's going to make the oil foam, which I can't really see where that would hurt in forks. But if you ever see foam in your engine oil, I worked at a Honda dealership, a motorcycle shop, and we had 55-gallon drums of Kendall oil. That was in the mid-70s. I was just a kid. I was just a builder there. And when they would put acid in the battery, gas in the tank, and oil in the engine. And we were getting these bikes and putting them on the road, and the customers would come and buy them and take them away, and the engines were blowing. And they questioned me, "Did you put oil on them?" "Yes, I think so." "Okay, well," they traced it down to the engine oil foaming. It didn't have anti-foaming agent in it, or whatever the additives package they have to do to those things to make the oil not foam. The danger with foam is when you have a compressible bubble in your oil, and it's not just one bubble, it's millions of bubbles. When it turns to foam, it looks like shaving cream through the sight glass. Well, they had the Kendall rep there, and we got a brand new bike out of the crate and put it together and started it up and put their oil in the engine. And we started the bike up, and just right there in the shop, ran it for about 5 minutes, shut it off, pulled the plug, and out came foam. It looked like one of those, remember those frozen Cokes, how they would come out of the spigot? So they paid for all the engines. And we had to call all the customers and tell them to come back in. So anyway, I don't see where foaming in the forks would hurt, because they don't build up oil pressure. But moisture, like in your engine of your car or your motorcycle, they get condensation in there, but it cooks off. But in your forks, it can't get out. So I disagree with Yamaha. I don't think their advice on you don't ever have to change the fork oil. Well, they didn't say that. The way they worded it was on their chart for routine periodic maintenance, whenever you have to do certain things. When it came to fork oil, it said not necessary to change it. So, but I'm going to change it anyway. And I'm sure it's going to come out black, because there's bushings in there and water, and they're constantly moving. So that's my next project. Is to do the fork oil, steering head bearing lube, and I'm going to change the brake fluid. It'll be it's a year and a half since I changed the brake fluid. I'll do a video on how to do it the conventional way, which is someone open the bleeder and have a hose going to a catch can, and someone press on the brake pedal and push that out, and don't let go of the pedal till that bleeder is closed. Then you slowly pump it up, not fast, slowly pump it up. But anyway, I'll get into that in a future video. Because I'm going to do the brake fluid change, the fork oil change, the steering head bearing change. When I was messing around with the shock today, having the shock off and trying to find, I had a squeak. I have a video named Mysterious Squeak. I couldn't find anything loose. So I didn't really dig into it. What else do I have on the plan here? It's filthy from sitting here in the winter. So whenever I get started again, it's getting late. So I'm done for the day, as you can tell. So I'll see you in the next video.